Inside of Canvas, you have a student-paced version of this slide deck for you to look at your own pace. I'm just going to highlight some things that you may want to take a look at and tell you how you can use some of the things on here, but I'm not going to dive in as deep as you might do and when you go through it as a student-paced lesson. So please go at your own pace, do work this the way it works best for you to learn, but it is available for you as a student paced, and within your student pace, you are able to take notes and have a copy of it sent to you as a PDF. You will see if you click on the little circle on your page, it's not listed on mine because I'm in the teacher view, but on yours, you can click on the little down arrow and take notes within the student paced one that is located in your Canvas class. So remember that the concept area of computational thinking is broken down into 4 sub-concept areas: modeling and simulation, data analysis and visualization, abstraction and decomposition, algorithms, and programming. On your page, you might notice that there is a book icon. You're welcome to click on it at any time to have anything on the screen read to you or converted into over 60 different languages. So use this as a way to make this more accessible to you. So I'm not going to play the videos when we're going through this video itself, but I do recommend that you spend some time going through the videos and watching them at your own pace. They are going to help you understand and your students understand what computational thinking really is and how it can look in action. I'm giving you some resources as we go through, this one being a daily STEM newsletter. And then you'll have some time to practice that vocabulary that you learned in that last module. So here are some big words that you do need to know for computational thinking. Think about whether or not you could actually define these words. You might want to write them down on a piece of paper, and then the actual definitions are going to be in that PDF that's in the stated website. You might also want to try your hand at origami and see if you can follow that pattern so you can think about how to use an algorithm. On this page, you can practice that vocabulary again, see if you can put them in the correct order. You will use the PDF that you have for the glossary to make sure that you're correct in the answers. I'm giving you the glossary of terms so you can take a peek at them. Again, you can compare it to your notes on the last screen to make sure that you have the definitions correct. So let's take a look at the standards. That first standard is going to be, well, before we get to that, here's a copy of that PDF, and then your first standard is going to be located in this course. You will also have this placemat activity where you can review some of the key nouns and verbs. This is for you to use. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it is available for you within this course. And now we get into that first standard, which is for modeling and simulation. One example of what you can use is a game called Semantris. This is a word association game that uses machine learning to organize ideas and concepts based on keywords. So this is a great game to play to practice your keyboarding. It's a great game to practice your impacts of computing, because we're talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning. And it's also a great one to talk about computational thinking and how that works and how it organizes data. So a great fun game you can play in your classroom. Another great resource for you is from the Utah Education Network. Here you're going to see tons of resources for patterns. You can see over on the left that they have some math, they have some science, some music, different types of patterns that are available for you that you can review at your own pace. Again, this is a great website to bookmark and come back to. All of the links will take you to a website where you can get some more information. Another fun activity to do with your students is adapting a pattern story. This one actually uses an Eric Carle book, but you can use what other books that works for you. So you can use The Very Hungry Caterpillar or Brown Bear, Brown Bear, watch the video, and then have the students work on their patterns. Here we're talking about using Wixie, but you can certainly do this in Scratch, or you can do it on paper with different things that you have available to you. Another resource for you for these standards is found on Beluga. Beluga is a freemium site, so some of them are free and some of them are not. This one happens to be free, where it's the 100 People Project, where you can read and watch different videos and do some different activities. around the people that live around the world. Moving on from the first concept area, we're moving on to the next one. And we're going to show you some different things that you can do. You can give your students a handful of Legos and have them create data stories and organize that concepts into how it works for them and how they can organize different ways to do data. If you have Ozobots available to you, here's a second grade plant and animal relationship ones that you can do with that Ozobot. Moving along to the next areas, you can do origami, like I mentioned earlier. Here's the how to make that paper boat that I had in the picture. So this is definitely something that students can do very young. I learned how to make the boat when I was in the third grade and still know how to do it today. So it's definitely something you can do with students. There are some other video ideas. This one is going to show students ways that they can do drawings where they don't lift the pencils. So a lot of these are just images or circles that work around each other. And then from there, the students will get the definition on how to do it. So how do you build these kind of interlocking squares without lifting your pencil? Great for brain breaks as well. So if your students are working hard on something, that might be a fun thing to throw in when they need a break, but it really is going to work on those computational thinking skills. Moving on to algorithms and programming, there is this website that you can go to that will generate different types of mazes, and then your students can write down the steps. For the younger grades, it could just be arrows. With the older grades, it could be block coding, or it could be giving directions and writing each step down in order, and then having their friends go through the maze and see if they can get out. There is a lot of unplugged coding that is available to you, especially around the area of algorithms. If you go to Computer Science Unplugged, you'll see tons of resources for you to use. Continuing on with algorithms and programming, we are going to go to the code.org website here to learn more about debugging. Debugging is a definite skill that your students will want to learn how to do, but it's also something you can tie into your math and English lessons, because if you have a mistake in your code when you're doing a math problem, or if you have a mistake in your sentence structures, it'll be harder for the reader or for the person to solve the math problem. So debugging is an important skill for all of us. This is a fun one you can do. It's a pollinator one where you can use different gardens, and what you'll do is choose your soil type, your soil pH. You can choose whether or not it's full sun, exposed, or sheltered, and then you're going to create either more species, less patterns. You can decide your flight paths, and then what it will do is create your garden, and then you're going to hear different sounds. You're going to be able to explore the different plants and all of the things as it comes through. So you can see that you can take a peek at it. If I clicked on different things will happen. I can hear bees, and you can see there's lots of ways that you can see and visualize this data. You also will have access to this Padlet that is built right within the slide deck. It just has some ideas that people have shared on ways that they can use computational thinking. This Padlet will also be available in your Canvas course. If you have any questions about these standards, you can always reach out on that help page that you had at the beginning of the course. We're always here to help you out. So again, you have this as a student pace to be able to view. We're also going to give it to you in preview mode, so you can use this information if you need to present this to somebody else, or even just so you have access to all of the resources.